Well, hello everybody, Oliver Shed here, Immersion Studios, infected, you probably already know that. Exciting times, I got a FedEx package today. Oh my god. Okay, so, big long drama coming to a close. I actually sent all the files to the printers about 12 weeks ago. It took them 8 weeks to fully process them, which was a bit of a shock to me. And so then after that it took them about 4 weeks to print, and I just got the FedEx package with some advanced copies. Well, the first one's off the press, so to speak. I have been hassling them and kind of wearing up my welcome, but it's worth it just to hurry things along because I thought this would be done about 6 months ago. So now the shipping can start. Now I need to show you some previews. So first up, start with the smallest first. The cards. How cool do these look? Check this out. Reverse side. Random NPC generation. Useful. Next up. Oh yeah. If this is you, you look pretty cool. This one, weapons and armor. Alright, yes I am. Rules, light, armor and weapons. So that's a quick way to come up with weapons and armor that fit any description. Hammer, knife, bat, or whatever. If you don't want to consult the rulebook and find the chart of them, or if you just like to keep things simple, just use that. Very quick, it's very fun. Now this one, it's a great portrait of a mimic by Alexander Chelashev. Look at that HD work there. It's one of my favorite pictures in the entire book. And here's the stats. That shadow's going a little bit funky there, so I'll just hold it that way. You got a mimic, you got an alpha. And on this one of my favorites, the Shambler. Whoa, look at this guy. Absolutely disgusting. And on this side you have a Burster and a Shambler. Now they have special rules that you'll notice here, right? Such as exploding, right? Those are all explained in the book, so I don't have time really to list them all out on the cards. These are just quick reference for their stats. So, no, not enough time, not enough space. Anyway, you get the idea. The next one I'm particularly excited about because it is the narrator's green. Oh my god! So these actually sold out through Backakit. I originally had 100 and we sold over 100. So I'm now printing 150. And I may end up printing more because they're just delicious. They're actually just amazing. They're actually handmade because these printers had never done anything like this before. But they wanted to make it happen for me. So they have handmade these. Three panels. Matte finish. Fairly thick, you can see. They're as thick as the cover of the book, which is, I think, 380 GSM off the top of my head. I may be wrong on that, but I think that's what it is. So you can see it's pretty sturdy. It looks amazing. Look at this. Look at this high fidelity art here. Look at that. I mean, this is actually it's just gobsmacking. This guy here, this little guy down here, I mean, this is my favorite piece of art in the entire book. It's one of the first I had done, and it's done by Andy Walsh, who is incomparable as an artist. He is very professional, always on time, always answers, gives above and beyond. He's actually given me a free picture once, which was amazing. He had some extra time and he made a free picture for me. I even offered to pay him and he was like, no, don't worry about it, it's on the house. I mean, that's amazing, right? And I've had a couple of artists actually do that, which is saying something for our relationship, I gotta say. Like, I consider artists my friends and I always try to look out for them, so it's really nice that they actually return the favour. But I mean, I was never expecting to get a free piece of art. It's like, whoosh, whoa. But to cut a long story short, this is him. This is Andy Walsh. Took a photo of himself and popped it up there. Rad, huh? Okay, so you can imagine having this here like this. See? No one can see over it. You've got plenty of space. And behind it you've got all this reference material. So just make sure I don't run over a cord there. Oh my god. My god, it's so good. Okay, so rules like armor, quick reference weapons, speed, damage, firing bursts, ranges, falling damage, effects such as bleeding, blinded, cripples, chokes, stuns from different types of attacks, knockdown, knockback, fire damage from different types of fires, just to give some ideas there. I mean, in Immersion, you can generally work it out yourself if you want to, but these are some good suggestions. This is multiple attacks on this page. This is a central page. The combat sequence, hardness rating, compare hardness rating. Like now, this is like what happens when you compare the hardness rating. What does it mean? If the defender is 2 above, that means the attacker can't deal damage to them. So it's like if you're shooting at a tank, you know. Targeted strikes, and then what effects they have. So then that would then go over to here. Oh my god, it all interrelates. Ranges over here, another one. Over this side, what have we got? Oh, random NPC generation. Spiritual attributes, what do they do? Level of penalty from different types of penalty. You want to inflict a penalty on your players? Do you want it mild? Maybe 1 or 2. Do you want it impossible? That'd be -9 to -10. You're a cruel person. Level of bonus, +2 +2, for instance, is the highest that we generally give, because beyond that, it'd just be a cakewalk, generally. It's up to you. Gradients of success is over here. How many successes did you get in your action? Did you get 20? That was amazing. Did you get 1? All right. Did you get an epic bungle? Double 1s? Well, that sucks for you. Experience is the other one down here. So I find these pretty useful. It folds up like so. Handy, solid. Yes, it's not flimsy at all. You know, even trying to bend it, I can't really at all. If I really tried to, not that I'm going to try too hard, but it's solid, which is that was a prerequisite. It had to be tough. So that's it. Oh wait, am I forgetting? I'm forgetting something. It's here. Finally. The book. It's the spine. It's not focusing. Focus on the spine. Focus on the spine, book. Camera. Anyway, that's the spine. That's the back. I went with this blurb. I did a whole lot of surveys on the blurbs and had a few different ones. But most people liked this one, and it tended to work pretty well. Nice minimalistic back, little red touch here. 256 pages. This is a, what they call spot UV, so it's glossy here. Now, I am surprised by one thing. You see by the glint here, I don't know if you can tell. The spot UV ends right here before the edge. It's really annoying. I just find that strange. It also stops here. I thought it was going to go right up to the edge here, but it doesn't. It stops there. You can't always get things perfect, but I would like them to be perfect. Am I asking too much? I don't think so, but it is freaking beautiful. Okay, that's enough. Now inside, I went for black, and then another go of the cover, which looks pretty amazing, and then the intro page. Table of contents, opening story, which is a little bit grim. Chapter 1 introduction. Now, one thing that I do find, it's not prevalent on this photo, this picture here, but it is on some of the others. If I go through some of these, right? Let's find some images here. That one's fine, that one's fine. This one. Look how dark that is. I did not know it was going to be that dark. That's really seriously dark. You can see it, but it should have been lighter. And when I got my preview page, it didn't appear to be that dark to me. So let's have a look at some other stuff here. You see some of the content, map, North Common NORAD. Ooh, this is a really awesome area. It's one of my favorites. It's got LA, Branxton, which is like a town in LA. It's got a big settlement. Got the Catazalentos, which is like the Srotkatas. Yeah, it's fun times. Let me see here. Some other examples. Oh, here's a fun picture. See that one? It's one of my favorite pictures. It's concept art from Joshua Meehan, who is an excellent artist, by the way. Oh, here, weapon pictures. What do you think? Not bad, eh? Oh, this way. More weapon pictures. So rather than going with like one weapon, like pistol, and then like 45 caliber, and then like, you know, like having like 20 different types of pistols, I went for having like one entry for like a whole set of them, and not having like the stat for the weapon, because it's actually harder to find the stat for the weapon if you're looking through 8 or 10 pages. Plus it takes a lot of space, which we can use for content instead. So I had to choose. There was the option of taking out all the weapon pictures, but after I'd bought them, it seemed a bit not so good. And plus, people love weapon pictures. I mean, it's one of the things I had the biggest backlash on, and I'm like, I'm going to take them out, and they're like, do that and I kill you. So I went, I changed my mind. I regret my decision. Now I'm going to show you another couple of pictures in here. This one, it's actually one of my favorite pictures. Do you know why? See that guy? Who does he look like to you? I'll give you a hint. It's me. This was actually a surprise by the artist, Alexander Chelashev. He couldn't remember who I wanted to put in there, so he put me in there instead. One of those sort of surprises, which actually ends up costing me more money, but it was still pretty cool. Now, in here's some of the explanation pages, so you can see where the dice are, what you need to roll. This is for firing bursts, short, low, long, full clip, all that sort of jazz. This is a fun one. This is a sample combat. And I read through it, and I was really worried that this may not appear all that legible and might not be understandable. On a computer screen, it has all these boxes and things, and so even when you preview it, it doesn't always look the same on a computer screen as on print. But it actually, to me, when I read it, I was like, wow, this is pretty simple. And I got a couple of emails today, people telling me, love the system, it's amazing. One guy said he's been playing for 35 years gaming, and this is the system that he's been looking for. I'm like, whoa, that was actually really inspiring. It made my day. Might have made my month or my year. I'm just not sure. This kind of did. It kind of makes it all worthwhile when I get feedback like that. So here's another grand picture. Now again, it looks pretty dark. I mean, this one you can pick it out a bit clearer in this, but some of them, unfortunately, just come in a little bit dark, and that's a little bit. I'll confess, I'm a little disappointed with that. But you can't have everything. Well, you probably can if you're a complete perfectionist. There's something for me to learn in future. I'm just going to lighten them up in future releases. So I'll just make sure I make the images lighter, because they always appear darker in print. I have heard this. I did double check, and it still came out darker. I'm kind of rambling on about the darker. So here is character creation information. sample character sheet. One thing that does come out really, really nicely with the book, apart from the fact that it looks beautiful all the way through, which is really good. Like, it just looks nice. The font is quite clear, and that's really important to me. A lot of people mentioned that they wanted the font to be legible, large, and the background page not to distract from the text. Also, various fonts here, they stand out quite well. Basically, it's quite clear, and that is super important. And I think in the rules sections, it looks to me anyway, I mean, I've been over it 100 times, so it could be just me. But so far, the response I've had from people looking through it has been that it's awesome. So that's really nice to hear, that it's clear and easy to understand. Alrighty, so I think that's it. We've got the dice coming too. They said that they will be ready by the end of the month. So basically it's all coming together at the same time. I thought it'd be finished. I thought this would be finished 6 or 8 weeks ago, and that I'd have already shipped it by now. So my apologies to all backers that it hasn't yet shipped, but it is now in my hands. I've actually got a copy. Whoa, that's like 2 years of work. Oh my God, I probably did about 2,000 hours of work writing, editing, revising, and then marketing this book, and I've still got more to go. If anyone wants to help me, by the way, run it at conventions, let people know about it, talk to your game stores about it, anything like that. You know what? For a small publisher, it makes a gigantic difference. Even just getting feedback makes a huge difference. All these little delays and setbacks, they hurt when you're the only one doing it. And the feedback though that I've been getting from people has been extremely positive and so supportive, and for that I'm really appreciative. I feel like I'm very lucky in that the community that we've built is a really good one, and I think it can only go onwards and upwards. And in fact, I've actually had an idea. I've started surveying some backers and just asking them what would they like, and people on my mailing list, what would you like to hear about? What do you want to know about? People wanted to know about upcoming settings, and they actually inspired me. I had an idea. So I'm going to start doing this, in that I can make some video blogs or vlogs or whatever they call it, going over some of the upcoming settings. In particular, I'm going to focus first of all on Myths of Kerala, which is our fantasy setting. It's an epic fantasy setting with a very gritty edge, and I'm just going to go over it, and I'll go over the different races, the different regions, the different places, so you can get a bit of an understanding of what it's all about before you play. I'm also going to be going over some tutorials and making some more tutorials. One of my friends reminded me that I didn't finish the number of tutorials I was supposed to do. Oops. Sorry. So now I've got to do one on what is hardness rating. If you've been waiting for it, it's coming. Okay. And yeah, so that's about it. So we've got a lot planned. I'm working with AJ Pickett, also known as the Mighty Glue Stick of YouTube fame, on a new setting. Now this is kind of like a dream come true for me. So if you're out there, thumbs up. Who has 2 thumbs and a grin? This guy. So AJ came and gamed with me years and years ago, right, with the Mighty Wes, and we played D&D, and then AJ ran a couple of games of Heroes Unlimited, and he also played a game of Rifts with me that forever stuck in my mind. And the game of Heroes Unlimited was just, oh my God, and it was so different. And ever since, I was kind of enraptured by his level of creativity and his ability to transport you to a game, and his intricacies of plot, and his genius, basically. And so I've been talking to him about this, and he's a backer of the game, which is doubly cool. And he's a YouTube star now, which is pretty cool. And he recently talked about writing a setting with me. And we've been working on it, and it's gone so completely crazy that we had to just completely... We were originally going to make it like part of another setting, but now we're just like, you know what, it just needs to be its own setting. So we're calling it Godforge, or The Godforge, as a working title. And, I would explain it in depth, but it would take too long. I mean, AJ has a way of taking a rabbit hole and digging it right down to the very core of the Earth. Put it this way, right? This is the basic concept. You've got a hollow world that has been built close to a neutron star so that there's certain magnetic influences that mean electricity doesn't work properly. So people there are created by bioforges in the mantle. So you've got this hollow sphere and you've got these deep layers of mantle with all these bioforges that create biological monstrosities, creations, races, and they fight their way to the top. And then on the inside of this world is a rugged wilderness. And it's essentially like an evolution chamber, one gigantic evolution chamber where there's a race of people who are breeding people to become their warriors in some massive intergalactic war. How many of these God forges are there? Who knows? But the history is ancient, and the different races that they spawn are just bizarre and intense. And the whole idea of it is that there should be constantly tooth and claw. So there's no technology really. It's kind of like a Conan-esque existence, but there's strange sort of magic, which is more like technology, but so advanced that it's like magic. Weird, bizarre things. It's just so odd. I mean, I'll give you an example of some of the weirdnesses. Is a thing we call podlings. I think that's just a working title name. They're probably going to have their own proper name later, but they're like the potato people. This is just a random, one of my favorite creations, right? And these podlings are they're edible, and they're vegetable people, and they will tend to mulch. We originally thought other people, but I'm thinking more like just compost themselves and then create and grow into a tree, and then more podlings will grow and out of seeds, right? And then they'll come out and they wander around and they walk around in a little walk. And they're like, a meter high or something. And people farm them. They're not all that intelligent. Various races farm them. So you've got these people driving the podlings to market, or just, eating them, having them as a pet, maybe talking to them. They can talk a little bit. They're not all that intelligent. They're a little bit intelligent, but they're pretty dull.
Feel the power of the dark crystal. Yes. And now the beam will rid you of your fears, your thoughts, your vital essence.
Is it ready?
Very fresh, very strong, sire.
Makes you wonder, one of my friends, Jet, is a vegetarian, and he's like, as a vegetarian, I really don't know what to think about that. It so blurs the line of, is that right or wrong? Are they intelligent enough? They can follow instructions. Can they really talk? We'll have to work that out a little bit more, but there is so much going on with this world. Anyway, I'm going to start creating some videos. Maybe AJ will start creating some videos. Hey, that's an idea. And we'll start getting some content out to tell people about the worlds that are coming. And I'm going to start doing some writing as well. There are more scenarios coming out for Infected as well. And I've already released one, which is called Black Zone, to all backers. If you are a backer kit backer and you haven't received a copy, I'll be sending out an email shortly, so check your spam box if you don't get it. Otherwise, just email me, oliver@immersion-rpg.com, or hyphen, not dash, but you get the idea. And there is just a lot more content coming, which is pretty exciting. So I'm planning to do a bunch more adventures. There are 5 to do for the stretch goals. And my creativity has been flared up, so I'm going to see if I can do a bit more as well. And after that, then we have to work on illustrations once more for further content, which is always the issue with RPGs. But I'm going to start the writing first this time, and I'll get the writing done. With Infected, I did have the writing done, but then I had to rewrite it, so that delayed things. 3 rewrites. Oh my god. Learn your lesson now, do all your rewrites at the beginning, and there you go. So, onwards and upwards. Thank you once again for your support, and look forward to getting your book in the mail. Cheers, guys.